Yo, what up, everyone? Welcome back. Fitness with Jesus. It's Cole. So, today we're doing a request video. It's my first request from comments. So, shout out to the commenter who made this comment. We'll keep you anonymous unless you say it's okay next time. We are doing a wrist video on cranky wrist, okay? So, there's things you want to know when you are doing a therapeutic progression. The first thing you want to do is get pain-free range of motion and then work on strength. Pain-free range of motion. Now, this is assuming you don't have any like complex tears in like your CFCC or TFCC, blah, blah, and or like no fractures. And the realistic thing is that some people have arthritis and stuff, and that may cause pain. But we're just going to approach it just like you need to strengthen your wrists because they're weak or they're kind of cranky or they get inflamed. So, the first thing you want to do for pain-free range of motion, there's a couple things because you want to work above and below the joint. So, if this is the joint we're working on, we want to work above at the elbow and below in the hand. Okay? So, start with about 10 elbow flexions just to get blood flowing to the distal area. Okay? Once you do that, I want you to do 10 wrist flexion and extensions. Body weight, just move it real slow. You want to feel like if you feel a sticking point where it hurts, pause right before it. Take a breath, go a little past, and then go back down. And eventually it'll loosen up. And then you're going to turn your hand sideways. Now, this is called radial and ulnar deviation because you're deviating from your radius and your ulnar bone, which are your forearm bones. So once you do 10 of those, a nice little warm up. You should feel it loosening up. Now, to strengthen the elbow, everyone pretty much knows what to do. You get a lightweight, a real lightweight, and then you bend your wrist. It's a wrist flexor or a wrist curl. Okay? You can do 10 or 15. I do like 25 because this is a lightweight for me, but start off low and then turn your hand over, and then you're going to go extension. So, extension works the lateral elbow, and flexion works the middle elbow. If you're feeling a pinch in your medial elbow, you probably have some tendonitis going there, and you're probably super overcompensating with your flexion. So I highly recommend doing extension anyways, even though it works the outside elbow. It's because there's a lot of times not counter tension, and it balances it out. Okay, so that's for the forearm. That's the one that everyone really knows. You can also do the radial and ulnar deviation with it, and that just kind of helps. As you see, those are just the warm-up movements that we did, basically. So all four directions. It's a four-way wrist. Now, a lot of people hammer that stuff and their wrist does not get better. And the reason why is that they're missing the below part of the joint, okay? Because we're working, that was all above. That was the wrist flexors, and yes, it is wrist flexors and the wrist extensors. But if I'm working my knee, am I just working my quads and hamstrings, or do I need to work my lower leg, like my calf, my gastroc, my soleus, my tibialis anterior? You got to work above and below, and it's the same concept with every joint. Now, there's a whole bunch of joints in the hand. So we're going to kind of work them in groups. The first thing we're going to do is there's this thing called your thenar eminence and your hypothenar eminence, which are these muscles right here. That's a accumulation of a lot of muscles. So we're going to work by bringing thumb to pinky, okay? We're just going to warm them up like that. Thumb to pinky. Once you do that, for about 15, you can try to get a band and put it in your fingers like this. And then you're just gonna kind of open that thumb and that pinky up. And it's kind of a challenge. You can do it with your other fingers too. As you see, I'm doing all my fingers at once. See? And I'm opening up. And this is working, I feel it a lot in my thenar eminence and my hypothenar eminence. And I do about 15 of those. And for sets, I do about 3, just because they're really small muscles and they get fatigued very quick. So I do 3 sets of flexion, 3 sets of extension, 3 sets of ulnar and radial deviation. This one you do not have to flip, it's one in and of itself, at 15 reps. 3 sets of 15. Then after I warm up my pinky and my thumb, I'll do 3 sets of 15 of extension. But there is one thing that we are missing. So, like I said, there's a lot of joints in the hand, right? And that means Bible time, Bible verse. So, our Bible verse for the day is John chapter 10, verse 28. And it says, "And I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand," because God's got strong hands, and we're going to get some strong hands and wrists by doing this. But, yes. Now, the next thing you have to know is that your finger, there's muscles inside your hand, and they like cause your fingers to add an abduct, which means to go away and out. So what I like to do is I just open and spread, open and spread. And then if you want to add strength, put 2 fingers in between and squeeze, 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 relax. And then open, 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 relax. And I just do each joint one time. I don't do a whole bunch of sets of reps. I just squeeze for about 5 to 10 seconds and then open for 5 to 10 seconds. Jump fingers, open for 5 to 10 seconds, squeeze for 5 to 10 seconds. Okay, now that gets most of your strengthening. There is a couple muscles that we haven't specifically targeted that are crucial for dynamic movement of the wrists. And it's your pronators, quadratus, and teres. And what pronation is it's turning your hand over. This is supination here, and pronation. Soup is like holding a bowl of soup. Now, but pronation. So what I personally like to do is I get my weight and I hold it on the end. And I go into supination and I just sit there until it's comfortable, because this might bother some wrist. And then I do a slow turn. If it, say I'm turning and I feel it here in my wrist, I go back a little. I take that breath, and that hold in isometric helps with the tendons and inflammation. Long isometrics. Then I turn a little farther. And then once I can get all the way down to the full pronation, not only do I hold, I put extra tension if I can tolerate it. And I push it down and hold. And then I do about 10 of those. And that'll work your pronator muscles. Most specifically, the pronator quadratus is the one that goes across your wrist here, and oftentimes can cause a lot of wrist pain. And, unfortunately, with Father Time catching us all, we do get like tendonitis or arthritis and all that stuff. But even with that, if you do your pain-free range of motions first and you get them nice and warmed up and you do all those strengthening holds, those squeezes, it will go a long way for helping your wrist. Imagine your pan and you want to use your favorite heavy cast iron pan because we refuse to go to the stainless steel pans. No, I'm kidding. A stainless steel is a good pan though. You can hold it this way and do that ulnar radial. So you can add weight to all of those warm-up movements once they're pain-free. You're here, you're here, you're here, radial and ulnar, thumb to finger, or thumb to pinky. Okay, spreading the fingers, closing the fingers, turning hand over, supination, pronation. There's a lot of movements to the wrist. So I encourage you to watch this video a few times and to see. You can add the band. This one personally helps my hands a lot, and just open that finger, open, open. And then, yeah, if you're feeling inflamed, make sure you're icing and treating it. And if there's major concerns, obviously consult with your doctor. But I hope that this helped you get some idea and get on the track to solving your cranky wrist problems besides just hammering your extensors and flexors. So everyone, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, share. God bless you, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.